Alright y'all, welcome back to Cats in Camo. And no, we're not really Southern, but for some reason revolvers, even if it's a police issue revolver, still makes me think cowboy. And this is the second half of our Smith and Wesson 10.5 review. This was an older gun. It was actually a police officer's, and so we're gonna have fun with it today. And so far we have been. We're going to do, since it's a 6-shooter, we're going to ignore the torsos on the outside of the steel range, and we're just going to focus on the green zombie heads. Those are the bad guys. Those are the aliens from outer space that are trying to eat my brains. So I have 6 shots. I have 5 zombie heads to knock down. If I do that and still have 1 shot left, I'm going to take a run at that 8-inch steel gong set out at 40 yards behind me that you really can't see. And frankly, I can't see it either. I haven't hit it yet. But we're going to try. Smith and Wesson 10.5, 38 special. Uh-oh, hi. There you have it. The reason why semi-autos were invented, zombies will eat you if you only have a revolver. Alright, you have a 38 special revolver, which makes sense because revolvers are more like a cowboy gun, and your specialty course is kind of like a cowboy setup. You've got the fence. Instead of shooting tin cans though, you pick bowling pins. A little frustration on league bowling night. And my shaving cream. Awesome. You owe me 98 cents. Alright, Allie. The Smith and Wesson 10.5. We're back indoors, climate control. I feel less like a cowboy, but I feel warmer. So let's talk about the gun. We had a lot of fun with it. We have a scoring system, 8 categories, scores ranging from 1 to 5. All right, category number 1, comfort of grip. This does not have the original wood grips on it. We have them. I could have put them on, but Allie actually liked the Hogue grips better, which made my day, because that's why we put them on, is because I liked them and she wanted them left on for comfort of shooting. And this grip is wonderful. Makes this gun really easy to hold and point, where you're pulling it out of the holster and just on target. So I gave it a 4.
Since this is an older gun, it wasn't made in the last like 5, 10, even 15 years. It's much older. Having a modified grip on there, I think, actually helps in more ways than one, because the original handle is old, it's worn, you know, there's more chance of having issues with it. Having a modified grip, it's almost like getting a new grip on a sword, where the blade is still the same, but you have a better grip.
It's a makeover.
Yeah. It just makes sure that you can still have your vintage gun and still use it, but it makes it so, again, you can still use it. You can't just be like, oh, it's an antique now. So, and I think that's really cool.
I like it.
But again, with the modified grips, again, I would agree a 4 is a great score for this.
Well, let's move on. We'll talk about the sights. These revolvers, this 10.5 and a lot of other police issue sidearms, have a front blade sight and no adjustable rear sights on the back. They're just grooves that are channeled into the top of the frame that you use to sight behind. It makes it really easy for close to medium range shooting. If you're going from 0 contact point shooting out to 10 and 15 yards, these work great. It's fast. The front blade, you pick it up immediately. especially since someone put an orange stripe on the back of it. It picks up really fast, but it's not as good at longer ranges, and I'm going to give it a 3 for just industry standard for a revolver of this type.
When I first picked up this gun, I immediately saw that orange red sight, and I thought, this is perfect. Again, I love two-tone sights. I think they're amazing. I don't know what it is about them. I just like them. And then I found out that they were painted on, and that it wasn't actually the original way it was made.
You're welcome.
So with the thought that, again, there's really not much of back sights, and if that stayed black, I could see where that could be problematic. And I would almost give it a 2, just industry standard, no markings, no paint, no nothing. But because we did have that dot, it helped me shoot really well. I felt so confident with this gun. I felt like when I put the sights on target, it was gonna hit it. So for that reason, I did give it a 4 out of 5.
Next up, trigger. This revolver, it's 45 years old. It's been shot a lot. And so that trigger is smooth and polished. It's nice in single action. It is really nice in single action. Trying to shoot a double action, I felt like I was still jerking it and pulling it. So I would give it a 4 for the single action and a 2 for the double action. So I'm going to give it overall, I'm going to give it a 3.
Getting more comfortable with revolvers and getting more opportunities to shoot them, the trigger, both in single action and double action, for me just seemed like what I expected. The single action is a nice, almost hair trigger, and the double action, obviously, it takes more, but it doesn't take too much. It's not like you can feel the tension all the way, and you can actually watch the hammer go back out of the corner of your eye. And I don't know, it just seemed industry standard to me, so I just gave it a 3.
Let's talk about perceived recoil. The recoil on this gun should be mild to start with because, again, it's 38 special and it's a steel frame revolver. But for some reason, the 10.5, it eats up recoil even better than expected. It's really soft shooting. It's fun for anybody out at the range, whether they've got big hands, small hands, strong, weak, older, younger. It works really well. Perceived recoil is almost nothing. I'm giving it a 4.
It was so much fun shooting this gun, and the fun factor almost completely eliminates any thought about recoil because there isn't enough to be noticeable. You know, you're having so much fun shooting that it's just like blam, 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 blam. That was awesome, and then you're like, oh wait, recoil. I didn't feel any. You know, it's just. It's one of the things that's awesome about this gun. It just, you know, it's fun to shoot, and the recoil doesn't play into effect at all. So yeah, 4 out of 5.
Let's talk about accuracy.
Wow.
It's an accurate gun. It's your confidence level when you point it, you feel like the round is going to go where it's supposed to, and it does. It doesn't disappoint. I'm giving it a 4.
It's just that Western feel of knocking down the pins or knocking off the cans off the fence post, and it's just ping, 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 and it's like, yes! And it's so awesome. So accuracy, I did give it a 4 out of 5 as well.
Let's talk about ease of reload. This particular model has a tendency to stick when you're popping open the cylinder. It sticks, and the 10.5 is a narrow tolerance gun, so when the cylinder pops out, it doesn't swing free like some of the bigger frame 357s and the 44s. It's tighter, like some of the Charter Arms undercover specials. If anybody has one of those, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The cylinder just barely clears the frame of the wall, or the wall of the frame, and so you have to, it's harder to reload, and I felt like this had a little bit of those problems. So for ease of reload, I actually gave it a 2.
When I was practicing with this gun, it did stick. Pretty much every time you tried to pop it out, you had to give it a little extra oomph to pop it out. And it was really, really close to the grips, where you felt like your finger, your thumb, or whatever you're using to load it, was just going to hit that grip over and over. You got to load it over here or whatever. So it's just, 2 out of 5. I have to agree with.
And for the record, it does the same thing with the original wood grips too, which
Yeah.
Allie didn't get to see. Let's talk about reliability. This gun functions flawlessly. It's easy to see why this was a policeman's best friend on their hip. It shoots everything. It functions beautifully. It may stick popping the cylinder out to reload, but there are no issues with it binding or anything. This gun shoots every time. I would not hesitate to put it on my nightstand. In fact, I have. So don't come knocking on my door. It's Smith. I'm giving it a 5.
This seems like a very reliable gun. Again, I don't really know what else to add, where it does exactly that. It fires every time you pull the trigger. If you have a bad round, you don't have to worry about opening the slide, dumping it out, racking it to get a new one, and you just go blink. Okay, that didn't work. Blink. Nope, now you're dead. You know. So it
Dead?
just.
We're talking about killing people? This is for modern sporting, target shooting, and the zombie apocalypse, whichever comes first.
Yeah, see?
And they're already dead.
Well, re-killing.
Re-killing. Actually, there's a movie on Netflix like that. Not that I watch every bad horror movie on Netflix, but I do.
So yeah, I give it a 5.
Well, let's talk quickly about ease of maintenance and cleaning. This gun doesn't have to come apart, but it does stick a little bit. And for that reason, for Revolver, I gave it a 3. Just industry standard, this is how you clean my gun.
3 does seem like a good score. I want to give it a 4, but again, with that stick, makes it seem like it shouldn't be sticking if I'm cleaning it often enough. So 3 out of 5.
All right, well, let's total it up and see. We seem to agree on a lot of these things. I actually gave it a 28.
And my score adds up to 29. Well, thank you everyone so much for stopping by. And if you enjoyed this video, point those crosshairs to the like button down below. And stay tuned for more reviews coming soon. See you then.
Because now just going 9 for 9 isn't good enough. That used to be a kind of a big deal, and now it's just, that's nothing. We're getting to the hard part now. Thanks a lot, even though it was my idea to do that.